Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Hello, my friends. How are you all? We are live. I see Catherine, Jocelyn, Deborah, Jeanette, all here. All here. And you're probably wondering what happened to my face, because I have a bunch of, if you can see, up close and personal, right here, right along my nose and right here above my lip. I will tell you all about that. That's what today's show is going to be about, basically. Meanwhile, there's my girl Nancy. Hi, Nancy, Teresa, Linda, Merry Monday, she says. And Debbie's in the house as well. So we had who's there at Full Bloom? Pinkies up? What a time we had. You know, the thing about Full Bloom for me is that I'm always sad when it's over. We had such a nice turnout and such a good group and such a cohesiveness. It was wonderful. Hi, Doris and Alice. Catherine, I know, right? Well, I mean, I've got a story too, so of course I do. But anyway, if you weren't at Full Bloom and you're thinking, you know, I could have used that, you can still get it. Go to savingdinner.com/bloom. That's where we keep Full Bloom. And there were people who purchased it for themselves who weren't able to be there. So you can do the same thing. And I mention that simply because it was all about keeping your light shining bright and understanding how to harness optimism. So there's that. Secondarily, we had, besides the fact that it's just always feel goody. Thank you, Jeanette. She said she was as amazing as always. It was really, and I really believe that our group makes the difference too. The chat and community is everything, right? We certainly learned that a lot. But anyway, there's a lot of other things that I need to tell you about. And the first thing that I need to tell you about is that we have a brand new course that is starting soon. There's our Tanya and Jackie. Good to have you here. We have a course called Crushing Limiting Beliefs. It's a 6-week course that we're going to be doing on Thursday night starting June 8th. I think I'm correct. I'll get corrected if I don't have it right. But if you've ever done any of our small group things, they're all, it's always fun because we're going to be tackling a subject, number one. Number two, the next thing about it that is so incredible is that we have the opportunity to really draw close as a community and to hold each other up. And I've really seen that a lot in these small groups, how the cohesiveness is it's everything. And I love that because it just makes us fully bloom. That's how it works. So go to savingdinner.com/no limits to get the lowdown on how this whole thing is going to work, because there's a place for you. And if you have limiting beliefs, or you think you have limiting beliefs, or you say, I don't think I have them, but I know something's holding me back. It's just an unnamed limiting belief. It's there. And I will be happy to, help you with all of that. We're also going to have hot seats, the whole shoot and match. So savingdinner.com/no limits. That's where you're going to find that information. Also, we have a wonderful new gratitude journal. One of the things that we learned during Full Bloom is the absolute critical, have to have in place practice of gratitude. Well, this journal will teach you scientifically, all the stuff is backed, all the research is backing the way that the whole thing is laid out. And it's going to take you incrementally through and teach you how to be grateful. Now, do we need to be taught how to be grateful? I think we do. I think a lot of times what it is that we we have fleeting moments of gratitude, but do we live in the practice of gratitude? Probably not. So that's exciting about these new journals. I know Nancy really, you love them. You got a bunch of them for your family. I think that's really neat. It's a beautiful thing, and of course, beautifully designed. Amber did a tremendous job on it. You can find that at savingdinner.com/grateful. It's beautiful. Hi, Chris. So those are the things that we have for you on that. And our new supplement of the week is Carb Cutter. Do you know about the Carb Cutter? Carb Cutter is basically, we go to war on carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, you know what they do to you, give us belly fat, and they just overload us and cause our sugar to go up. Well, Carb Cutter helps with that. What it is kidney bean extract, and taken in a therapeutic amount. So we have you here taking it with 2 capsules. You can go with 3. I go with 3. What it does is it doesn't, okay, Teresa asks, how does it work? I'm going to tell you exactly how it works. It doesn't allow the carbohydrate to fully develop, if you will. And it helps you to digest it without having it impact your blood sugar. That's how it works. It's pretty cool. And I take 3. The therapeutic dose is 3. The safe dose, or I should say safe dose, the dose is 2 on here, but I take 3. So does Mark. We keep one of these in the car. I keep one in my purse. We keep one on the countertop because there are times when we need it. I'm just going to be point blank honest. Did I say hi to Sue? I'm glad she's here too. All right, so there's that. What else do I have to tell you about? Did I miss anything? I've got that. Oh, Hot Milk 30, y'all. It's gonna be happening. And it's just, how many days? It's today. Tonight, we're having the Hot Milk 30 webinar. You gonna come? It's at 7 p.m. If you go to savingdinner.com/30, you'll see it there. Not only that, but you'll see what the guide is all about. So if you don't have your guide, you can go ahead and get your guide there. You will also see that we have a sign up place for the webinar, so you can come tonight. Yay! Hot Milk 30, isn't that what it's all about, Tanya? She knows. She does 2 with lunch and 2 with dinner. I know, they work, right? They're so good. I know you need a reset after the weekend. When your daughter gets married, though, you celebrate, you eat, you do things. We do have Full Bloom coming in July, and all of that information will be out probably in the next week or so. So just keep your eyeballs peeled. Keep your eyeballs peeled. Meanwhile, you can go ahead and start getting reservations. It's July 27th, 28th, 29th, I believe, right? Hi, Lynn. It's glad to have you here. And Jocelyn's pinking up. I love it when the pinkies come up. All right. So our quote of the week, people, are you ready? Oh, savingdinner.com/30, THIRTY. Sorry, forgot about it. 28th through the 30th. Sorry for Full Bloom. That's where you're going to sign up to go to tonight's webinar. And I think we sent out an email too, letting you know that it's tonight. So if you haven't signed up, go do it. Let's do it, okay? Because it's important. If you haven't done this and you want to really get things going, this was Tanya's ticket to 130 pounds. See, she'll tell you about it. All right. Here's what you need to do now is you need to take this quote and put it in your journal because it's great. If you want to reach your goals, shrink the size of your butt, B-U-T, not B-U-T-T. Shrink the size of your butt. How many times have we excused ourselves, rationalized, butted ourselves, and said, well, That's a little confrontive, isn't it? But in a good way, I would say. In a good way. All right. Well, today I'm going to tell you a story today. You like that one? Tanya likes that one. I think it's a good one. Today I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you, first of all, what happened to my face. And it's not nearly as bad. You can see I've got a little sunscreen on, some zinc oxide on this. You can see, I'm just trying to show it to you. The total mess. And I'll just tell you right now, I fell flat on my face. So I'm going to tell you the story of what happened and this the series of unfortunate events and the lessons that I learned from it because it really was quite an aha thing. And there's still more to go because I just came back from playing pickleball, probably the worst time I've had. I stayed. We have a like a ladder play, and we do the winners split and move to another court, split and move to another court, split and move to another court. But if you keep losing, you stay on the losers court. I stayed on the losers court all day today. I was scared of the ball. I was scared, scared, scared. And I'm go that part. I'll probably talk about that later on this week, but I want to share that part with you too because when we go through something, it's a little traumatic when something happens. Then it's a process to get through the other side of that. But anyway, I'll tell you about it. So Friday, it's this Friday, right? This last Friday, a few days ago, it was Friday, and we don't have a show on Friday, but I was going through making sure that I had all my notes, reading through all my material again, making sure that we had the proper handouts with, just doing everything because Full Bloom's on Saturday. It's a full day and I'm on all day. So there's a lot required of me to show up and, have everything ready to go. So I was doing that. And then I knew I had a game later on with some women that I play with on a regular basis. And after that, I was very excited. I had a game or a lesson from a pro. It was so reasonably priced. I had to say yes to it. It was like $20. And so I was like, yeah, I'll do this as a full hour with this guy, one of the top pros. He's a senior pro, like number 20 in the world. So, this guy knows a thing or two. So, and tell me if you're not like this. When I get into something, I fully go all the way in. I want to learn as much as I can. I'm concentrating. I'm in it, right? And so this guy's asking me, well, what do you need? What do you need help with? And I explained a few of the things that I needed help with. And one of them was he was sharing how to do a push dink. Now, if you're a pickleball player, you understand what dinking is. If you're not, then I will just tell you, it's just a very soft and small shot that goes barely over the net and goes into this area called the kitchen, right? And the kitchen area is just a place where you can step in and step out, but you can't volley from it. And anyway, and it looks super easy, but it's harder than you think. And he was showing us how to get difficult shots from that area. And there's a lot of area that you have to cover, and you're moving side to side quickly. So that's how that works. And remember, it's not a tennis ball that's heavy and bouncy. It's a wiffle ball. It's plastic and it's fast. So we are dinking back and forth, and he hits me a hard one, and I'm like, I'm going to show this guy I can get this thing. And I'm doing everything that I can to go get it. And somehow or another, I don't even know how or what happened, but I ended up kind of in a pretzel, and I fell on my left shoulder and my face and my knees. And next thing I know, I'm on the ground, and I knocked the wind out of myself. And I just remember opening my eyes and thinking, this is unbelievable. I'm on the pavement here. And our courts are painted blue. And that's all I could see was blue. And then I saw blood hit the court. And then I felt the pain and trying to get my air. And do you know, y'all, this, the feeling of just embarrassment and also the pain and just all that tension that I wanted to cry. I mean, I really, really wanted to cry. Oh man, it was just like right on I was doing one of these so that I wouldn't cry. That's how that's how it was. And then I was at the back court, so I had to walk up to get to the social area where we keep a first aid kit. And that was another one of my, I'll share all of my lessons. So as soon as I get up there, there's a big group of women sitting there. They're all my sisters too, part of the sisterhood, by the way, all my girls. They're sitting there talking, and they see me coming with all this blood on my face, and trying to get I'm trying to act normal and get the first aid kit out, and they swoop in and take over and start cleaning up my face and putting ice on my head and all of the rest of it. One's a nurse, and she's looking at my eyes to make sure I didn't get a concussion, all of this. And I started making jokes about how graceful I was, and I face planted and all of that, because what else are you going to do? Because it was right then that I decided I wasn't going to cry. So um, anyway, the guy who was teaching us, his name was Bob, and Mark, my husband, came up after or during that whole thing and said, well, you want to, Mark was asking me if he wanted me to just take him home. And I said, no, let's go finish the lesson. So we went and finished the lesson. Gave me some footwork stuff, which I think is really funny considering what just happened. And I continued on. And it was an act of will to continue on. And by the way, on Sunday, I got a couple of text meetings. I got a couple of text messages. I heard you were a real trooper, which was pretty cool, from some friends. And so I got myself back up. I went back and I played, finished up my lesson. Then after, as we're getting off the courts, the one gal, Deb, who organized all of this, had invited us to go out to dinner with the instructors and a few other people. And she said, I guess you're not going to want to go out to dinner. And I said, sure, I will. Let's go to dinner. And so we went to this Acosta Brewery. It's a place here. I got good Mexican food. So we get our food, and we're sitting down at a table. Across from us, there is a little girl and her mom. And this little girl is just staring me down, like, whoa, what happened to you? Right. And I get it. Sure. I mean, I would have looked at me. I'll pull up the picture, y'all. And so you can see it. I mean, it's just pretty dreadful when it first happened. But anyway, so this little girl just kept staring at me. And finally I was like, I had to get up and go to the bathroom anyway, because I needed to wash my hands and all of that. And so as I went into the bathroom, this little girl followed me into the bathroom. Where is this thing? I've got this picture. I swear to you, you want to see it. Look, can you see that? You can see all pretty ugly. So yeah, it was pretty severe. And you see how much better it looks. By the way, castor oil, CBD, and vitamin E. That's all I've been putting on this stuff. Doesn't hurt. It just looks terrible. But this thing has shrunk like crazy already. And this is, just whenever. So this little girl follows me into the bathroom, and I'm out, and she's standing in the stall next to me. And I could tell she wasn't going to the bathroom. She's just standing. And as soon as I left the stall and started washing my hands, she walked out. And I said, you want to know what happened? And she said, yeah. And I told her the story of what happened. And I also added, and you know what I did? I went back and I finished my lesson. And, I told her this whole story. And this just really got me. She nodded, and she looked at me, and she said, when I was graduating from pre-K, I got hit in the face with a ball and had a big black eye for my graduation. And I said, then you understand what that's like. And she goes, yeah, I do. And there was a lesson there too, which I will talk to you about. But interesting was how there was a lot of lessons there. The number one lesson that I got, well, there's a lot, and you'll see this in a blog post. It'll be in today's show notes and all that. But the number one lesson that I learned was that resilience comes in many forms. And the resilience that for me to say, yes, I'm going to stick with it, it came from deep in my core, because in my head, I was like, get me out of here, whatever. I was also very embarrassed. I mean, come on. I just creamed my face in front of a bunch of my friends, and it was pretty tragic. But the resilience comes in many forms. So the resilience to say, yes, I'm going to stay. Yes, I'm going to go to this restaurant. And yes, I'm going to tell this little girl about what it is, was an opportunity for me to practice what I preached, number one. And it came from nowhere. It just came out of my mouth because my preference was to run and go home and lick my wounds, sit in the bathtub and have a glass of wine and cry. Pretty much. But I made a decision not to because I'm in leadership here on my board, pickleball board. So I felt like it was important for me to get up and keep going. And it was important to me to get up and stay the course and keep going. That's number one. Number two was the resilience of my body. It could have been so much worse. If my bones weren't as strong as they were, if I did not lift weights and have the muscle protection, I don't know what would have happened to my knees. I have two big goose eggs on my knees, but they were fine. My knees are fine. I'm a little bruised on my knees. This one, shoulder got a little road rash and what have you. That's almost gone now. I put vitamin E oil on it and it's nearly gone. And, my face and everything, and it's fine. I'm fine. And that says something to me that collagen, that bone broth, that beauty support on the daily basis, you heal, you heal quickly when you're doing things to help nourish your body. So there was that. The other thing was that, I recognize that resilience isn't about emotion. It's about a decision. And the decision that I made was that I'm going to do the harder thing. I'm going to get up and go. I don't want to fall off the horse and say no to the horse forever. When I was a kid and I was swimming, I had a really bad dive and hit my head hard and almost passed out. My dad was there and what have you. And he wanted me to get back up on the diving board and do it again. And I said, no, I never did get back on the board and do it again. And from that day on, from the time I was about maybe 9 or 10 or whatever, I was never much of a swimmer when before I was a little fish. So that also came into the back of my mind after all of this, that when you quit on yourself and you don't give yourself another opportunity and you don't break through the fear with resilience, by the way, resilience is like a battering ram. It gets you through the fear. When you do that, then you're going to come out stronger on the other side. Even though today was kind of a hard day for me playing pickleball. I was scared of the ball a little bit and what have you. That's going to all pass. Still, I'm going to get up. I'm going to keep going. Still, I'm not going to stop. Still, I'm going to stay the course. And still, I'm going to do the things for my body to make it even more resilient. I'm 65 years old. I don't have to have, 65-year-old bones or muscle. I can build that. And that's what I'm doing. So I was happy about that. The other thing is that, we all have something that needs to get finished. Quitting on ourselves, leaving, and not having the grit to see things through is a tell on us. It's saying you're leaving your character behind, You're leaving an opportunity behind of what you could become. The becomingness of all of us it doesn't come easily. It's not just handed to us. We struggle through it to get to it. That's how this stuff works. And that's what resilience brings to the table. And like I said, it is a battering ram. It gets us through that fear. It gets us through to the other side, and it shows us what we're truly made out of. So that's a big deal. And the other thing was that another lesson that I learned was this little girl who was staring at me, and I understand that. She taught me something in the bathroom, and that was that the sisterhood is there for all of us, no matter what age. Ageism goes both ways, by the way. I kind of discounted her, and maybe I even spoke down to her a little bit, at first. And then I saw this nodding and this understanding, and I thought, she's a part of the collective. She is a part of the sisterhood. She wanted to make sure that I was okay. That was part of what she did. And she shared her story about what it feels like to get your face knocked around, because she had one too. Just like you have a story, I have a story. We all have our stories, and our stories are the things that build one another up, that say, I understand how you feel. I've gone through that too. That's what the sisterhood does. It is a place of connection, community, and love. And this little 7-year-old, I don't even know her name, gave me that in that bathroom. And she also gave me a lesson on ageism. Never discount a 7-year-old who comes to the bathroom and wants to talk, right? That was great. The other thing is these women who came to my aid as I was sitting there bleeding. One of the lessons, and that's not going to be in the blog post, but this is a lesson that I really thought about later. There's always one who comes to the front, who kind of checks you, makes sure everything's okay, and you allow her to put you in your hands, her hands, so to speak, right? She checked me to make sure I didn't have a concussion. She cleaned all these things up, and she handed me ice packs, but she was the one who led the way, and everybody else was standing around, saying it's going to be okay, and holding me up. But that's how the women are. That's how women are. Elephants do this too. Women elephants, it's a matriarchal thing, by the way. They all come together, and when one of the elephants is having a baby, they know, and they're all together and they wait on her. It's interesting. This is kind of this maternal thing that we all have in our DNA. And I think that's something we should be extraordinarily proud of, because it is the loving, caring, nurturing thing that we do that makes us women. And it's a beautiful aspect of who we are. And I just thank God for women like that who step up and take care of another woman when she's in need. And I have to say, what a beautiful group of women these ladies are. And the other thing is, believe you're a badass, right? Believe you're a badass, because I will tell you, if you quit on yourself, you don't get to experience that ever. You don't get to experience it. But when you say no to the easy thing, and you do say yes to the hard thing, and you take resilience with you, and you say somehow or another, I'm going to get through this, then you find yourself in a place of getting to the other side of it and saying, yeah, I did that. And I feel really good about myself. And I'm going to tell you something. It is good to feel good about yourself. It is good to give yourself some accolades and a couple pats on the back and say, I did that. Because this is how we build ourselves up and become resilient, heart, mind, body, and soul. So, will I stop playing pickleball because I did this? I will not. Will I be more careful in the future? I'm still going to play full out. Am I going to take a lesson again? You betcha. Will I fall again? I hope not. But it's not going to stop me. And it's not going to make me timid. And it's not going to make me back off. Because being a badass, being a resilient badass, that's just a part of who I am. Now. Anyway, so there's my story. I thought I would just share it because, everybody's going to be looking at my face going, what the heck happened? But it sure there's no makeup on it either, guys. I don't have any makeup on it. It's just, this is just putting the vitamin E on it. It's amazing how much better it is. I bet you by Friday, it'll be gone. Why not? Yes, aloe is healing as well. So that's my story. Those are the things that I learned from it. And there's probably more lessons to learn from it, still. But I will tell you one thing that I know without a shadow of a doubt, that unless you put yourself through the hard stuff and stick with it no matter what, even when you don't want to, you'll never understand the victory of being resilient. You'll never, ever get to experience that. So when you feel, I don't know where you are with whatever it is that you're trying to do and whatever goal it is that you have, but everybody is going to be tested. We're all going to be put in the crucible, all of us. And my question to you today is this: how do you want to come out of it on the other side? Do you want to come out a full-on certified badass, or do you want to say, well, I quit on myself, but next time I'll do better? Huh? Well, I'm going to tell you what. I want you to just say, I'm pinkies up. I want to be a badass. I hope so, because that's the name of the game. Wise women know this too. All right, thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you. If you are wanting to know the announcements, especially about our brand new course coming out, everything else, it's at savingdinner.com/announcements. And I'll tell you, if you've never done one of our courses, you do not know what you're missing. So get on it, savingdinner.com/announcements. And I will see you tomorrow for Transformational Tip Tuesday. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.